What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is the Real Housewives of Dallas, season 3, episode 9. It is late. I don't know what it is about me and these Real Housewives of Dallas reviews. I can't seem to get up on time, but I like the show. It's not because I don't like the show. I don't know. Well, we gonna get it. We gonna get it together. So this episode, I'm really conflicted with this episode because I really, really like Deandra, but Deandra irritated my soul in this episode. So we're gonna get there. So we have the tale of the tale of two lunches at the beginning. We have one lunch going on one side of town, but we have Stephanie, Leanne, and Cameron. Then on the other side of town, we have Brandy and Deandra. So Leanne, Cameron, and Stephanie, they're having a nice lunch. They're discussing, they're recapping everything, but they're also having some good conversation. And one thing that Leanne is saying is that she really appreciates the fact that Stephanie is getting to know her. That Stephanie is not allowing Brandy's biases to come into play, and that she's giving her an opportunity to really get to know who she is. And she said that she really thinks that Cameron and Stephanie could really be friends because they seem to have a lot in common. They're both very Barbie-like and all that other good stuff. And I can see where she's coming from. I think that I think that Stephanie, her and Brandy have a genuine friendship, but Brandy is clearly the alpha in that friendship. And so I think a lot of times people tend to link them together, and if Brandy does something, then they both did it. If Stephanie does something, then they both did it. And so with that whole situation last year when they were on vacation and they were, Brandy was playing pranks and stuff, Cameron just was like, I ain't fooling with either one of them. But I do think that Stephanie seems to really be building a genuine friendship with them, or at least giving them the opportunity to get to know them. And she even said, hey, I'm not going to allow what Brandy's relationship to interfere with my relationship with these women, which is valid. And that's what you should do. That's what you should always do. It's one thing to have your friends back and a rock for your friend, but it's something else that when you're in a group of people that you're forced to be around, that you really truly try to get to know them individually. Then on the other side of town, we have Brandy and Deandra talking. And the thing about this, first of all, they're getting drunk. They're getting shit-faced drunk. Like, they are drink upon drink upon drink upon drink. And they're talking about Leanne. And here's where Deandra first started getting on my nerves. Sorry, y'all. This is where Deandra first started irritating me this episode. Because they're talking about Leanne and her wedding and Leanne and Rich, and she's saying how Leanne is not talking to her and Leanne is not opening up to her, and they're best friends and she should know everything. And she just thinks that Leanne is just holding all these things in. And then she goes to say that she's heard rumors that Rich is cheating on Leanne. And she's like, and I know Leanne knows, and she just won't talk to me about it. She won't open up to me about it. And I'm just waiting for her. I keep giving her opportunities to tell me, and she just won't tell me. First of all, rumors are just that. They're rumors. And even if Leanne has heard the rumors, she's choosing not to address them because either A, she's not ready to face it, or B, she knows that they're a lie, or C, she's embarrassed. I mean, like, there could be any number of reasons why these rumors that you have heard, Leanne is not ready to address. That doesn't mean that she's any less your friend. It doesn't mean that she loves you any less. It just means that right now, that's just not where she's trying to be. Second of all, you stopped speaking to her. Remember when you got mad at her because she told everybody your business about having $200 in your bank account, and you iced her out, and you wouldn't even speak to her when you were face to face with her at the doggy paint party? Maybe she's not in a rush to share anything with you right now because she's hurt. Now, granted, she was wrong for telling people your business. However, you iced her out. So maybe when all those phone calls that you didn't answer, when she was calling you and texting you and reaching out to you, maybe those were the phone calls that you were waiting for, where she was saying, hey, me and Rich just got into a really big fight because I heard this rumor while I was down at the Piggly Wiggly. Maybe, just maybe, you missed it when you were in your feelings. And again, I'm not saying you weren't entitled to be mad, because you were entitled to be angry because Leanne was wrong for telling your business. All I'm saying is, now that you're ready to talk, doesn't mean she's ready to talk. Anyway, so they go from there They end up going to this charity event. Now, if you've been watching the show from the beginning, you know that the first season was all about the charities and how Dallas is so big on the charity circuit and the charity event, and how Leanne is queen of the charities and she is just Miss Charity. And so it looks like they're going to kind of revisit that a little bit this season, because this was an event. It was an LGBTQ event dealing with AIDS awareness. I forget the name of the charity, but it's a LGBTQ event. And it looked like it was a weekend long event, because this episode, the event that they're at right now looked like it was sort of like a meet and greet or icebreaker or a happy hour type event, because Leanne and them got there at like 8 o'clock, and Deandra and Brandy got there at 8 o'clock, and Leanne was like, okay, well, you're already it's almost over. So it seemed like it was one of those like meet and greets or happy hour type of events. So they show up drunk. Brandy is drunk off her ass. Brandy ass can barely stand up. She is off her ass drunk. Now, granted, sure, have fun. Brandy finally got a nanny, so she's like, look, I got a nanny now. I don't have to worry about running home. I don't have to worry about driving. So if I want to go out and have a drink and have a mommy day, then I can do that. You are absolutely correct. You are entitled to that. However, what you should not do while you're drunk is pick a fight. So they get there, and of course, Leanne is irritated, one, because Brandy's there, because she really is having a problem with Brandy and Deandra being so close and having this friendship. That's bothering her, and that's that jealousy that Leanne has. But two, she's like, but y'all showed up late and drunk. And Brandy wasn't invited. You were. Now, if it's a charity situation, as many people that walk, all you care about is a checkbook. So who cares if Brandy was invited or not, as long as she brought her checkbook with her and she going to leave one when she leave. But okay. So they get to arguing about, Brandy calls herself confronting Leanne about the whole, you told people not to be my friend. Because that's really what it boils down to. You told people not to be my friend. And you always tell people not to be my friend. And they did a flashback to 2 years earlier where Leanne was trying to warn Stephanie about being seen in proper society with the wrong people when they were doing this whole charity thing. And Brandy was like, you always tell people not to be my friend. You tell people not to be my friend. You tell people that we shouldn't be friends. And I'm just like, what? You know what I mean? Like, what the hell? Well, then Leanne kind of shoots back and says, well, Carrie told me that you feel like I'm in everybody's ear, and then you feel like, that I'm got everybody's ear, and I'm telling everybody not to, rock with you. So, of course, now Brandy's like, what? Of course, she's drunk, so she's wavering back and forth. What? Carrie said what? What did Carrie say? So here go Carrie again. You trying to be messy, but you end up being messy because you in everybody's business. But we're going to get to that in a minute. We'll get to Miss Carrie in a second. So anyway, they get to arguing whatever, and of course, Brandy ends up stomping away because Leanne is like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, so, but Brandy's drunk. So, like, that's just not the best time to call yourself confronting somebody about an issue or a problem that you have with them. Okay. So now, Cameron in court. Court is telling Cameron it's shit or get off the pie. It's make or break, kibble and bits, sparkle dog, purple, pink food. It's got to start making some money or we're going to have to close this out, If we can't start finding a way for this company to turn a profit, then we're going to have to shut the doors. And, Cameron's thing is, I know Court deals with a lot of businesses, and I know that all of his businesses do not turn a profit all the time. And I feel like he's just being harder on me or not giving me as much time for my company to show a profit that he would give the next person because I'm his wife and he really doesn't want me doing it anyway. She said, it hasn't even been a full year yet. And, that's just not enough time to always pull a profit. That doesn't mean that it's not a good idea or that it's not a profitable business. And, okay, she's got a point with that, So she had gone to this little expo a couple of weeks back, and she got a lot of names and a lot of contacts. And so they're getting together at the office to call these people to go through the people she had talked to try to see if she could broker some deals. Because basically what the situation is this. The food is made and it's actually in some boutique stores, but he said it's only turning like a $500 profit per month or something like that, and that's not good enough, which is not. That's not a lot of money. So what he's saying is that you either need to find a distributor or you need to find a big chain that's going to put it in their stores, like whatever. So she calls the first person, and the first person is like, I think this is a great idea. I think it's a great concept. We just got to figure out how we got to get it into more stores. I'm willing to do my part to help, blah, 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 blah. And Court's face is like, what? He was like, so you think this is a good idea? And the dude on the phone was like, I absolutely do. He was like, it's different, it's new, it's boutique stuff. Like, that's the kind of stuff that people, who buy ballerina dresses for their dogs will buy pink dog food, So, of course, Court is just like, oh, okay. Because this is like a major global distributor. Like, this isn't even just... Because he's even talking about distributing it in places like Japan where, they have a lot of that quirky type stuff or whatever, like anime and all of that. They buy some pink dog food in Japan or whatever. And so Court is like, so what you're saying is this could be profitable. And the guy on the phone is like, absolutely. We can get it on the shelves in Hong Kong, Japan, China. Like, it will sell in Asia. So they get off the phone, and Cameron is kind of giving him the I told you so look. She was like, and that's just one phone call. She said, I still got a whole list of people that I made contacts with at this place, the convention. I'm sorry, the convention that she went to. She was like, so, Court, I need you to work with me. Like, I need you to give me time and let me work these contacts and let's work this out. So I think he's a little more open to moving forward now that he sort of have heard someone else that, is in big business saying, hey, this could be a good idea. This could be profitable. So I'm happy for Cameron because she really believes in her pink dog food, y'all. Then we see Stephanie. Stephanie is getting some vaginal rejuvenation. She's going down to Carrie's clinic. And, she's the plastic surgery office or what have you. And she's getting vaginal rejuvenation. She said that she has, she's not doing it for cosmetic reasons so much as for medical. She said she has a lot of leakage, after having babies. Sometimes women, things don't always snap back. We know about the snap back, but things don't always snap back in all of the places they need to snap. And she said that she has a really big problem with leakage. And so she's getting her vagina lasered to try to help with that issue. So she goes in, and it looks like it's a really quick... it looks like it only takes a few minutes, and it doesn't hurt at all. And I'm like, wow, that's interesting. Okay. So that seemed to go by really, really quickly and really, really fast and painless. So Stephanie says, Carrie, while I'm here, let's talk. Let me talk to you for a minute. And she proceeds to let Carrie know, look, Carrie, I know last year you got caught up in a whole lot of he say, she say, and people felt like you were being messy and gossipy. So this year you decided that you were just going to be upfront and honest with everybody, and you weren't going to try to get in the middle of no mess. They said, but in the meantime, what you ended up doing was doing the exact opposite of what you tried to do. And this whole, I'm going to just be honest with everybody no matter what, is really causing just as many problems as the messy, the messy Carrie, excuse me. And Carrie said, you're right. She was like, maybe I overcorrected. And, she said, but I really, truly just didn't want to be called a liar. And I didn't want to get caught in a bunch of mess this year, And she was like, I understand. She was like, I understand your reasons were pure, but you are just causing a lot of problems. Like this whole, I'm just going to be honest. She said, it looks like it's just caused a lot of problems with Leanne and Deandra and, and Brandy and all this other stuff. So... but I think it got through to Carrie because we're going to see later on where Carrie really gets it. She really understands, right? So, remember I was telling you about the charity event for the for AIDS awareness. So they're having their big gala event is well, I say tonight, but on the show. And the theme is 80s. The 80s, like 80s prom theme. Now, I was just a mere child in the 80s. But I remember that the 80s were tragic. I look back on the 80s, and they were tragic. The hair was tragic. The clothes were tragic. The vocabulary was tragic. Totally tubular. Gag me with a spoon. Some great movies, though, in the 80s. Some great movies. So, Stephanie and Brandy, who are always fun. Like, I love them. They are always fun. They decided, it's called the No Tie Fund. It was a fundraiser for No Tie. That was the name of the charity, No Tie. Brandy and Stephanie are fun. This is why we love Brandy and Stephanie. They decided that they were going to dress up as the prom king and queen from an 80s prom, right? And so Stephanie is the girl, and Brandy dresses up like a guy. She's got the tux on with the big hair, like the big hairband hair, like the curly black all the way down to here, and she's got like a little tilted crown. And Stephanie has got like the big hair and the really ugly dress made out of that. I don't even know the name of the material, but it was that really crinkly, ugly material. And she's even got like a retainer that makes it look like she's got braces. It's cute. They are really cute. And they even have this old, like the old stretch limo from like the 80s, right? It was so cute. They did really good. And so Cameron is the honorary chairwoman for this particular event. And so, they show up and everybody's got their little 80s outfit on. Some were more 80s than others. Leanne's outfit, I don't think was that 80s. Deandra's outfit wasn't that 80s, but it was okay. I think anybody compared to Stephanie and Brandy was going to be lackluster because they just went so all out with it. So they have the event. It looks interesting. It looks interesting because it didn't look. It looked like a nice event. I'm sorry, because it just didn't look like there was a lot of people there. But I know that this is probably a legit event in Brand. Like, it's not one of those made up parties that they have for the cameras. Like, this is a legit organization and a legit event, because you saw there were other people there. It just didn't look packed, right? But it looked fun. People were dancing and they were doing their little 80s dances and everybody. And Cameron was there with her hair. Carrie had her hair really 80s and everybody looked cute, right? But y'all know how it had to go down. So we get there and Brandy, I want to make sure I get it in the right order. Basically, it's no need in building it up. Basically, Brandy and Leanne get into an argument. They get into this argument again. They end up arguing again. And Brandy ends up talking to Leanne, talking about, well, you're just not being honest with us. Like, you won't tell us what's going on with you and Rich. Like, why haven't y'all gotten married yet? And Leanne was like, that's not your business. First of all, we ain't even really friends. Second of all, what me and Rich are doing is between me and Rich. When we decide to walk down the aisle is when we decide to walk down the aisle. Like, that's just not your business. And so then, but my thing with Brandy is you can't go from one extreme to the other. Like, once again, y'all are not even friends. You just got finished talking 2 days ago about how you can't stand Leanne and Leanne is fake and Leanne is this and Leanne is that. But now you expect Leanne to pour out her deepest, darkest secrets to you, if they even exist. Like, that's so crazy to me, Brandy. So then Deandra gets in on it, and the same thing sort of goes down with Deandra, that she's trying to get Leanne to confess that Rich is having an affair, that she knows Rich is cheating on her, and Leanne is like, what are you talking about? Like, me and Rich are fine, and if one more person asks me about it, like, I'm going to fucking scream. Like, what is wrong with y'all? And she told Deandra the same thing, like, it's not your business. You're my friend, and I respect that, but what I choose to do or not do in my relationship is not your business. And so I just didn't understand it. Deandra acted like her feelings were so hurt, and she left the party early and everything, and I'm just like, what in the world? What is wrong with y'all? I just don't understand why y'all felt like that was y'all's place and that it was y'all's business. If Rich is cheating on Leanne will deal with it in her own time, how she chooses to deal with it. Just be her friend and be there when she's ready to talk. You can't make somebody tell you their business. You can't make somebody talk to you. And you certainly can't make somebody confide in you. But that's not a definition of friendship. My level of friendship isn't measured by how much of my private business I tell you. Friendship is measured on, are you there when I need you to be there, when I'm ready to tell you, if I'm ready to tell you. It's the same thing that's going on with Married to Medicine and them trying to make Quad tell them that doesn't mean that I don't love you or cherish you as my friend. It just means that this is not a conversation we're having. We're not having this conversation. So anyway, y'all, it just doesn't make sense to me. It just really doesn't make sense to me. that's where the episode really ended. We saw where Brandy had a conversation with Stephanie, and Stephanie was telling her that you know, about her wanting to build a relationship with Leanne, and how she's really seeing a different side of Leanne and she really likes it. And Brandy was like, you know, I'm glad that Stephanie's really getting to know Leanne without me. I mean, I don't ever want to stop her from being friends with who she wants to be friends with. But I think a part of Brandy is a little hurt. I do think a part of her is hurt. Then we saw where Brandy confronted Carrie about Carrie repeating some things that she said to her. And Carrie was like, you know what, you right. I fucked up. I own it. And I think that after she had that conversation with Stephanie, she realizes that she may have overcorrected and did too much. And instead of trying to make excuses, instead of trying to explain herself, she said, you know what? You're correct. I was wrong and I apologize. You know what? Damn it, thank you. That's all we need sometimes. Sometimes all we need is, you're right, I fucked up and I'm sorry. We don't need no explanation. We don't need no excuses. Just I fucked up and I'm sorry. And you know what? It took all of the wind out of Brandy's sail. All Brandy could say was, I was really mad at you. She said, I know you were. She said, well, I love you. I forgive you. But I was so mad at you. She said, I know you were. And I was wrong. You had every right to be mad at me. I fucked up. And I'm sorry. Thank you. Anyway, that's how that went down. We'll see what goes on. I think a new episode either comes on tonight or tomorrow. We'll see how it goes down, y'all, because I just didn't. And then I saw Deandra tweeting some things on, talking about some, this was a really hard episode, and she was just so hurt. And I'm like, why? You are wrong. As much as I like Deandra, and I very seldom side with Leanne about anything. This one wasn't on Leanne. This on y'all. This is on y'all. And I understand that you've truly heard these rumors and you believe that Rich is being unfaithful to Leanne, but you can't make her tell you how she's feeling about that. You can't make her admit it to you. You could just be there when she fall, boo. Anyway, talk to y'all later. Let me know what y'all think in them comments. Peace.